Dasaratha Raja, who came to Ayodhya with his children, became lovable servants of Rama, Lakshmana, Bharat, Shatrughan, mothers and Dasharatha Maharaja. Dasharatha Maharaja, aware of the good qualities of Sri Rama, remembers the long reign of the king and thought of handing over the reign of Rama to Rama. Once Raja Ashwapati sent his son to announce his grandchildren's visit, and Dasharatha sent Bharat Shatrughans to the country of Kekaya. Rama, Bharat, Lakshmana gave Vishwakarma different palaces for Shatrughani. While everyone was happy, Dasharatha Maharaja surrounded me. It is good to entrust the title to Rama, the eldest son. Our former ones have done the same. Quote, the ministers called the generals and the Mahatavas. Accordingly, Vaishakha announced the coronation of Sri Ramana, the 5-day Panchami day of the month. Water was collected from various tirthas for the coronation of Sri Rama. The White House was built. Sri Rama was marched on the elephant from his house and brought to the Raja Bhavan. Sri Rama was also as interested in the musical arts as he was a valiant warrior. He practiced archaeology every day and studied the disciplines of Siksha, Grammar, Chandas, Vedas, Shastras, Astronomy, Gajastra. Rama, who was always humbled, had great respect and affection for the people. No one was able to confront Rama in battle. It is no wonder that Dasharatha had so much love for Rama, who was as good as Indra in his prowess as a deity in the intellect. At Ayodhya at this time, there were horrors. Dasharatha felt that she would not live long. Dasharatha decided to make Rama a young prince and make the citizens happy. Dasharatha took his advice before the princes of the Samaritans and obtained the consent of all. They all appreciated Maharaja Dasaratha's wishes and agreed to the decision to give Rama the authority. Vasishtha summoned the Maharishi and said, Maharshi, tomorrow is the summit of Chitramasa's Pasha star. There is no time to send news to Bharat Shatrughans abroad. They will come back later but very happy. Get ready for the coronation. Single quote. The Vishishtas ordered the collection of grains, herbs, pallet honey, ghee, gold, pearls, gems, rituals, elephants, champagne, flag, white umbrella, hundreds of gossamer and so on. Citizens were delighted with the arrival of the young prince. There were breeding grounds everywhere. When Sumitra brought Rama, Maharaja Dasharatha preached to Lord Rama, who bowed to him in the presence of the Guru Vasisthas. My son, Rama, I am getting older, and it is difficult for me to run a state bank. You who are good, look after the citizens, and I am determined to be crowned tomorrow. I am free from the debt of God, Father and Sage. The deities have been satisfied by the yajnas. The country is full of natural beauty and prosperity. I am free from the debt of God by propagating knowledge and freeing the sage. I am indebted to you for the indebtedness of Ajay and Indumati, the father and mother of this body. May you and all these three be released from debt, and live a good life with your wife, fasting, worshipping, and worshipping. Dasharatha said, take a bath and get ready for coronation tomorrow. I have seen my son deserve to ascend to the throne after the king who spoke madly. Loved it. She told him she was happy. Rama becomes the servant of Rama when he talks about the mantra. No one can honor him. So she asked for this coronation. Rama, humbled again by his father's hatred of Mankarella, began to hate him as a result of Mantralaya's selfish intellect but his son's power in the state, which he thought would be good. Then the mother found Kausala Devi and blessed her and went to her home. Her mother Kausalya blessed Rama and spread her love with the words, good for you, child. Ayodhya was full of excitement. Beautiful decorations were found in all the houses. The decoration in the circles in the squares was enhanced. Beautiful rangoli were found in front of houses and temples. In the evening all the houses were lit by the lights. All were eager to watch Rama's coronation ceremony. Dasaratha's wives Kausalya, Sumitra and Kanike all loved Rama, Lakshmana, Bharat, Shatrughan. Nobody was discriminated against. When Kanike got married and came to Ayodhya, she also brought with her Matsya Mintare. The ugly lady of the goosebump, it was her habit to speak abusively of what Kadi was saying. What about the state of excitement in the palace? She asked. He said, the Maharashtra Dasharatha is preparing for his coronation tomorrow.
It is very exciting. Selfishness in Manta Mana forest
became the product.
She came to Kaikeyi as Mayavani and crowned Sri Rama tomorrow. Even Kaikeyi is very happy that Dasharatha Maharaj is doing a decent caravan of old age. What's more enjoyable than that? She said. Shai, I'm just saying for your good. The Maharashtra Dasharatha sent the Bharat Shatrughnans to the Kekaya country without dividing the state into 4 children. They are now quickly giving power to the beloved son Raman. If Rama was the king, what would be your son's condition? What is your course? She asked. Don't be mad. Rama is worthy of ascending the throne after the great king. I saw Rama as my son. Loved it. I am happy for that, she said. Mantare said, if Rama is king, your son will become Bharata's servant. No one respects him. You will never find a mother. Therefore, avoid this coronation. Mantare's exploitation of selfishness did not work before. But he was convinced that his son would be entitled to state power and that he would become a king if possible. Rama was the epitome of preaching Kakai Mantare, who loved Kausalai. As a result, she began to hate them. Kaikeyi didn't know what to do. She made her son king of Ayodhya. But when she saw no help, she went away and summoned the sitting mantras and made peace with them. Delighted with her arrow, she suggested to Kaikeyi that she would avoid Rama's coronation. Queen Kaikeyi, you had 2 boons when you fought the Devasura with the Maharaja in the past. I had rescued Dasharatha's chariot on the battlefield. Remember when the Maharaja told you to ask for 2 boons? I never received the assistance of the Maharaja. There is no need now. I would have used it anyway. Mantare was now excited. Mantare, my dear queen, you have now heard 2 boons from the Maharaja, and await the coronation of Rama. Listen to the kingdom from the first boon to Bharat. Listen to Ramana's 14 years of exile from the second boon. If Rama stays away from Ayodhya for 14 years, then Bharat will reign and the people will forget Rama. You can be a king forever. Single quote. If you want to do what Dasharatha wants to do, then come now. Take the oath first when the king is there. Then ask the groom. Inspired by Mantare's misbehavior, Kaikeyi joined the chamber without any other thought. Dasharatha Maharaja wanted to make Kaikeyi happy by telling Rama the joy of coronation. Knowing that she was in the chamber, she quickly began to be comforted. Queen, what's your face today? With what difficulty has this condition come to you? The whole Ayodhya is celebrating today. Why are you angry? What is the reason for that? Solve your difficulty, tell me what works. What do you want? Dasharatha asked. The Maharaja of Kaikeyi swore first to fulfill my nanas and then I will tell my nanas. Dasharatha Maharaj asked, Queen, what have I not done so far? What wish have you not fulfilled? Who has missed the word played by the Surasans? If you're happy, I'm ready to make any ka. I swear on son Rama, really. I fulfill your dream. Leave the anger, and rejoice in the joyful celebration. Single quote. Maharaja, you have sworn to Rama and promised him. The words played are unbelievable. In the past, 2 boons had been offered for help in the Devasura war. I hear those boons today, she said. The Maharaja did not want to think about what he could ask for. He was ready to give the boons he had previously given. Queen Kaikeyi adheres to the words played by the Raghuvansa kings. Ask what you can get, when you want. Quote, Kaikeyi said, Maharaja, I asked Bharat to get the kingdom from the first boon. It is unlawful for Dasharatha to leave the elder Rama and give the kingdom to Bharat. However, the language has been given to the wife. Nevertheless, he asked for a second report. As a second boon, Lord Rama must wear linen and go into exile for 14 years. Lord Rama Dasharatha became enraged at the sight of her hand asking for a boon from her. Kaikeyi did not know what was true or false. Rani Kaikeyi, have you really asked the Lord Vanavas boon? He asked. Maharaja, do you remember what he played? She recalled that my 2 grooms were Bharata's state, and Rama's Vanavasa. What kind of injustice does a sinner do? What did Rama do to you? He loves you more than his mother. How did it come to your mind to send such a Rama into exile? You saw Rama Bharat as equal and said, to one did the state ask for another Vanavas. Alas, what to do? That left him with a fainting heart.
Maharaja Dasharatha,
who slowly wept when the maidservants cared for Dasharatha, I beg you, Queen Kaikeyi, may Bharatani remain in the kingdom, but
Rama asks him to leave the Vanavasas and ask for something else.
quote,
When Dasharatha begs again and again, is it okay to demand a speech from Kaikeyi, the famous Maharaja of the Sura dynasty, without speaking? As I have heard, Bharata is the state, give Rama's blessings to Vanuatu and walk away.
Quote, unaware that such a poison was in the mind of a beautiful young girl,
Dasharatha had promised to give her a boon.
I was stupid to see your beauty. Should I send my dear son to the woods? Why don't I die before I see this? What to do? He woke up again and again. Rama could not be crowned at Ayodhya the next day. Everywhere was full of excitement. People arrived early in the morning to enjoy the coronation at the palace.
Dasharatha was in
Kaikeyi palace again after dawn. Wait,
please, leave Raman for something else.
But the furious Kaikeyi said,
Maharaja,
you don't mind, just miss the word played and corrupt.
Dasharatha knew lately that she was a badass.
He was in a state of dysfunction. Then,
Kaikeyi Maharaja, I will tell you if I have trouble telling you all about my family. Dasharatha was useless. Dasi came to Lord Rama's house, who had finished bathing Sandhya in the morning, as the Guru's Vasishtha had said, Maharani Kaikeyi has told her to come. Rama, who was supposed to leave the palace in glory, came to the palace of Kaikeyi.
On his way he found a temple in the temples
and offered to come from Lagubagbe.
But the Purajas who saw Rama on the way were honored by the Arati Akshata.
Rama also reached the palace of Kaikeyi,
honoring him with a laugh. It was sad that Rama could not see the father lying on the ground with a swoon. Aunt Kaikeyi looks at herself.
How sad is her father? Who did something wrong?
What did I do wrong? Why is no one talking?
Rama,
that the
Maharaja Dasharatha heard of the gift of Nyanandinda would grant him.
Wow!
I asked the groom.
Looking forward to the past, she said.
Is it possible for the kings of the Raghuvansa to take the place of Lord Rama?
They command whatever they want, and keep their word, even if I try.
Ask Dasharatha what to do. Dasharatha had not yet spoken. Kaikeyi Rama, if you carry my name, the mother of Maharaja will remain. What comes to scandal is wrong. Will you save my mother? Whatever it is, I will definitely do his word.
There are no two words in this.
Maharaja Dasharatha left speechless.
Now, even yourself,
tell me what is going on.
Kaikeyi Rama,
Bharat should take the throne of Ayodhya instead of you.
And thou shalt
abode 14 years. Your father has given me 2 grooms.
It's like I have heard it this way.
The Maharajas are sad, she said.
Auntie, don't worry about it anymore.
Rama said, I know that Vanavasavam is the result of paternalism. Dasharatha moaned again, Chi, sinner, I am still alive to see all this. Rama found his mother Kausalya and went to seek blessings. The story of Lord Rama going to exile spread in Ayodhya. Sumantra said to the Vishishtas, let us take the word of Maharaja Dasharatha. Even the citizens began shouting that Rama should not go into exile. When Dasharatha knew that Rama would go into exile, Prana died. Vasishtha Maharishi, when he summoned Minister Sumantra, the guru of the Kaikeyi ministers, if the Dasharatha Maharaja did not observe his promise, I would leave the Bharat Norai for 14 years. You are right, Rama. The Vishishtas were contemplating the effect of female intelligence. Rama came to Kaushalya and prayed to me that my father had given me 14 years of exile. Send me blessings. Have you come to the forest with the wild beasts? Thou art the glory of the palace, and the wave of the forest. Why not swallow me? Is the wind blowing? Nana kind of breathed. She woke to the ground like a talisman. Rama is the mother of God and Bharat is the best. Is it okay to dishonor the father's oath for authority over the state? No one in the past has done this. Mum, I went to the woods. Bless, again. Mum and Dad are very sad when Kausalya is in an unspoken position. Take good care of them. Single quote. Lakshmana Kaikeyi Kevin, you come to the forest, very angry, knowing that Rama is out of the forest. You should not go out into the forest like the words of the evil aunt. I am a bigot. Rama is the Lakshmana, do not be angry. The ones who played the game.
Those who have a reputation in the heavenly worlds, we should act like the elders of the clan. Isn't our religion, like the words of Jamadagni, the mother of Parashuram cut off the mother's neck? Didn't the says, like Saga's command, go in search of an alien in the underworld? Don't blame our aunt for being a bad woman. All cows run by the bull. Has the aunt ever played a badass? Do you love me like Bharat? Prepare me to go into exile, said Rama. Kausalya felt that Rama would not delay. Safe from the arms given by the Vishwamitra Maharshi's son. Blessed be the river, the hill trees, the forests of the forest, the wild beasts disturbed, and the fires of the winds not be affected. When Rama finds Sumitra Devi, I am going to follow her like Ama's father. Take good care of your father. Rama informed Aunt Sumitra Devi that he was in a very bad state and came to his house. The coronation of Rama was a happy one. But in the morning, Rama came to the temple and announced the asthya, observing that Lord Rama had not gone to the royal palace, yet dressed in beautiful garments. Knowing the wish of Sita, Lord Rama said, "My dear, my predecessor was to be crowned today. But when I was told that I should be in exile for 14 years as a patriarchy, Sita did not believe. Going into the woods. Why? What happened? What is the reason for this?" Sita asked Rama. Our mother Kaikeyi Bharat should be the state's authority. She had heard that I should go to exile for 14 years. I have been exiled as a father. Be careful in the palace. Motherless Kausalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi served them. 14 years of being lost. Do not grieve, said Rama. Lord Rama has gone out into exile according to his father's words. Ayodhya, that too in Ayodhya without Raman. Wife religion is to follow the path of her husband. So I don't ask whether it is right or wrong for you to go into exile as your father did. Do you not, my wife, come and share your happiness? I'll be right where you are. I will come with you to the palace. Lord Rita, you belong to the palace now. One of us has a very difficult life. Need protection from wild beasts day and night. The range should be protected from winds. You, princess, are not one to suffer. One of us will not suit you. You are serving your mother-in-law. Maharaja Dasharatha is sad. Take care of them all. Quote. Then Sita chanted, Why do you want me to do my duty as a wife? You acted like your father. I, too, can handle piety. The path of stone thorns is heaven for me if it is with you. Why do you have fear from wild animals? What about those in the jungle? What is night? I will be with you when I get hungry. Please grant me permission to come to the exile. Quote. And I live somehow in the forests of the forest, seeing the creatures and fruit. This solitary confinement is nothing less than jungle life. If I am left here, I will not be alive. Tell your sister-in-law to Lakshmana who came there. She is ready to come to Vanuatu and tell her to stay here. Then Lakshmana said, Anna, I too will go with you into exile. Rama was surprised to hear Lakshmana's speech. The characteristic is that I go into exile to keep the word of the father, and they did not say that you went into exile. Who cares for the grieving father? Not even Bharat Shatrughan is present. Only for me. So don't come. Ramana said to him that he was in Ayodhya and looked after his mother and father. Anna, I cannot be without you. We both have grown up together. It is not right for you to go alone. The sister-in-law is also ready to leave for exile. I will come with you both. Bring food for you. I will build a leaf. I'm guarding day and night. I wanted to be of service to you. Lord Lakshmana asked Rama to grant me permission to come and live with you. When Rama decided to go into exile, Sita Devi and Lakshmana were ready to accompany him. A resident of Ayodhya instead of being crowned, she wanted to see Vanagama. The people also talked among themselves that they should not have the spouse of Raman. Rama was convinced that Sita Lakshmana too would go into exile with her. Rama went to the palace of Dasharatha Maharaja and greeted his father. Dasharatha could not speak. The grief came and went. Maharaja, I am going to come. Sita, characteristic that they are coming to the forest with Sahanan. When Rama asked Dasharatha to send us away, he said, Rama, you are troubled by my wrong deeds. I did not know what to ask. But I know what it means to make such a mistake. Quote,
Raman, father,
just don't blame yourself.
all the cars in the world,
As written in fate. I don't want to offend anyone.
Maharishi Vishwamitra has already come to the rescue with the characteristic.
Do not worry and spread us. With your blessing,
I have completed 14
years of exile. Quote,
My son, Rama, you are not a hero, no matter who you say you are faithful and faithful. Of those whom I have given you, you have grown old. May the angels protect you, no matter what happens to you.
When Sita and Lakshmana
Also saluted Dasharatha, you two went out with Rama.
I'll leave the woods with you too. Let the goons take the army and let it stay there. Let Kaike live here with his son.
Dasharatha said. Minister Sumitra is the mother of a queen
Kaike,
who is now suffering from an incident in Ayodhya. An injustice like never before has occurred today.
By your selfishness,
Justice has become a cornerstone. Avoid the intruder,
he said.
Rama said, Maharaja, I am going to the forest of Sita and the forest.
Everything else should come with us.
Do not be a liar.
With the guidance of all of you
who are worthy,
there is no doubt
that Bharat will rule the country with righteousness.
You all want the interests
of the citizens. Bharata is escorted.
Stay in the state and spread us. Quote, Kaike
Ramalakshmana brought narrator to Sita.
When Sita
took the fiber lamp, Dasharatha ordered that Sita
should not wear a linen cloak.
Mahamantri Sumantri came in a chariot leaving Ramaksha Sita.
When the chariot of
Sriraman departed, the people of Pura also got behind. Rama stopped the chariot and said,
O people, we are going to Adi only three.
Maharaja Dasharatha, Maharani ministers,
Sena, Senapati,
Guru are all present. Bharat also
takes good care of you.
Go back to Ayodhya.
Bharat needs your cooperation. We have finished 14 years of exile. Until then,
Rama sent the Puranas to
stay in peace.
When Minister Sumitra brought the chariot to the banks of the river Saryu, Rama bowed down.
Ministers, take good care of
Maharaja Dasharatha.
They are very sad.
Comfort them,
bless us.
Lord Rama crossed Sarunmani and started the forest dwelling.
In Ayodhya, the coronation ceremony was
overshadowed by the ritual of the ritual Sita.
The cemetery was filled with silence in the palace.
Dasharatha repeatedly whispered to Rama and slammed his hand. Kausalya Sumitra was in his possession and trying to appease him. The plight of the citizens also came to our dismay. That was worrying. In the evening, the Ramalakshmana Sita decided to spend
the night on the banks of the Tamisanadi
as the evening passed just ahead of the Tamisanadi.
Lakshmana made a bed of leaves
for his brothers and sisters.
But
Rama Sita Lakshmana, who was supposed to be
in glory in Ayodhya,
now had to be in Adavi, which had a strange effect.
That night was spent discussing the events in Ayodhya. Early in the morning,
as he crossed the borders of Koshala, Rama described his country to Sita. Rama, who loved his country
more than Janani's birthplace,
showed him all the greenery and the lush vegetation.
Face to Ayodhya,
Mother, Goddess of Ayodhya, protect my subjects,
save the country, let there be no calamity in the country.
Let the citizens be calm and happy. Bharat demanded justice from the state. After living in the forest, he always wanted to be together again. When Rama Lakshmana reached the Ganges, he saw the river overflowing. Lokapavana saluted the sinner. The monasteries of the birds, peacocks, woodlands and sages of the river Ganges have delighted the Ramasita lakhs. Lord Rama,
let us spend the night tonight on this river.
Lakshmana arranges a suitable place and stays. Sri Rama Sita Lakshmana was then in the area called Sringiberapura. Rama Lakshmana, the son of Dasharatha Maharaja, he brought with him a variety of fruits, honey and bell peppers. Rama hugged the cave and lovingly inquired about the welfare of the cave. Cave knew that Rama had to be in exile for 14 years. Sri Rama, you are in our forest.
Come to my abode. I will make all arrangements. Quote,
Rama said,
Cave, I will not enter any palace.
As in today's words,
you cannot stay in the palace in exile.
Your love friendships are priceless. For 14 years we had a corner house. Fruit food, so forgive the hurt.
Single quote. While talking to the cave that night,
Rama Lakshmana said he would resume his journey early in the morning.
The cave made a good sail and made arrangements for
crossing the Ganges.
The cave came to the river with all the others and said goodbye.
About Sumantra, the chief minister of Ayodhya, Raman ministers, we leave before you.
See the people of Ayodhya. Make peace with
Maharaja Dasharatha.
In the same way, please inform all the elders. Single quote.